Welcome back, guys. I'm Zell, and today we're talking about Ganzo's G752, the first ball bearing Ganzo I've seen. And there it is, guys, the Ganzo G7522. And Ganzo has graced us, the best I can tell, with a design all their own. Definitely they have done the construction all on their own. I have yet to see anything exactly like this in construction or design. You know, it may be out there, and if it is, leave it in the comments and I'll make an annotation here. But with this Firebird line of knives, Ganzo is starting to get good. So as we look at this thing, we have this stainless here. Now this goes all the way to the end of the knife. It is a liner as well as a bolster on both sides of the knife. It is also the liner lock, or really it's a frame lock. But, you know, technicalities. So anyhow, looking at it, they tell us we have a piece of G10 here, and we've got a semi-sleeved lanyard hole. We've still got these screws, these titanium, or not titanium, but anodized screws. On the last one of these Ganzos I looked at, they were junk. On this one, they're fine. However, as we move along, we'll find some other things that they may have given up on. But our overall length here is about 4 3/4 inches with a nice skinny handle thickness of about 4/6, closed height of about 1.3. And, you know, they just did everything right. It is a very good in-the-pocket knife. You know, in fact, here we go in the pocket with this guy. And look how well that thing rides in the pocket. Right? Very nice. Ganzo has done a really good job here. And tip up or tip down right hand. That's kind of a bum deal. But, you know, if they all were tip up ambidextrous, and then we wouldn't have anything to fuss about, I guess. So our construction here is actually 2 liner bolster slash frames. This is the frame. We're not going to try to do this liner thing. This is a frame. Your steel here and your steel here, and then we got G10 over the top of it. We got a G10 backspacer with some of that big jimping, kind of like that Spyderco Techno. Not quite as big, but still pretty large, but it works and it doesn't eat up your hand. And we have a liner lock, frame lock right here. So this is the second time I have messed with a Ganzo frame lock, liner lock type knife. The first one was an actual liner lock, and it's the reason we didn't look at Ganzos for a long time on this channel, because it was absolute junk. I mean, that knife got, I wouldn't have even shown it to you guys. Well, maybe I should have done a PSA like I did with the off-brand Swiss Army knife, because it was bad. Next Ganzo I got a lot better, and now here we are with a knife that has probably earned some time in your pocket if you're willing to buy it. As usual with the Firebird line, we have the anodized hardware, you know, thumb stud, all of our screws, even our screws holding the pocket clip down, all anodized, and it looks pretty darn nice. Now, as we open this guy up, we've got a large kind of a drop point slash spear point blade somewhere in the middle there, and it is about a little over 3.5 inches long with an edge length of just about 3.5 inches and a kind of a standard blade thickness of 0.12. So it's kind of your standard fare blade. It's flat ground. We got some fullers running down through here. I don't know if that's really necessary, but hey, they look cool. And same thing on the other side. Got our Firebird emblem and the fuller and flat ground. And like I said, the blade looks good. And if you look closely here, for those of you that sharpen with a fixed angle system, you can see what I'm seeing there. That is not bad. Only a small amount of sharpening choil fix, and it's even. That's the important piece. It's even on both sides, so it'll be easy and it won't look bad. You know, that 753 it was uneven. It was a long long plunge grind on one side and a regular normal length plunge grind on the other. Not so here. They have straightened that up on this knife, and it's going to be easy to take care of. It'd be even better if they fixed it at the factory, but hey, we get that from some of the high-end companies, so we need to start there and work our way down, or start at the bottom, Ganzo, and work our way up. Force their hand. So anyhow, that's our blade. It's a very nice one, made out of 440C flat ground, all good. Stock edge is actually reasonably sharp. It's for factory sharpness, pretty darn good. And we're gonna stop here for our pause and read card. Alright, so now the star of the show. This thing is running on bearings. And I've unfortunately not been able to take it apart because the pivot is kind of frozen in place. But it did at least freeze in place where the blade is pretty well centered and seems to have taken a beating and stayed there. And that's good because as we come upon our next giveaway, this one may be in it. But other than that issue, it is running on bearings. And guys, I've messed not with a lot of flippers, but a fair amount of flippers, manual flippers, and this one's good. It's really, really good. Now, is it on par with this guy here, your 0450? Well, of course not. It's not on par with that, but for a big knife, it's not far from it. I had the opportunity to mess with a 0452, and that's the big version of this 0450 from ZT, and this knife is right in there with it, and that's amazing, guys. That is really, really amazing. This knife is $20 or less. I think if you get it from a U.S. warehouse, they're running 26 or 27, but if you're getting them from a Chinese warehouse, you're under 20 bucks, and it's just amazing. And they left the thumb studs on there. And check this out. This thing, as far as thumb stud flicking, is in line with anything out there, if not better. This thing is right down there with my Spyderco mantra. Doing Spidey flicks and whatnot with that mantra is just a pleasure. Same thing here. That thumb stud is just beautiful. Anyhow, we are kind of a frame lock, liner lock, and this presents a problem. And I'll see if I can explain this to you. See if I can get it to focus first. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? Okay, so they've done this lock, and they have allowed it to come in here, right through here. So what happens is you stick your finger up there to unlock it, and if you're not careful, you get the meat of your thumb stuck in between here, and it hurts. So whenever you go to unlock this knife, you've got to be sure to be pushing forward on it, or you're going to get bit. And there's our lockup. It's good and solid. It's a little later than what I'd like to see, but think about what we're dealing with here. For the amount of money you're spending, it is some super solid lockup. No blade play, no nothing. Ergonomically, Ganzo has done a very, very good job. The handle is good and comfortable. Right-handed, no problems. However, once again, if you get to gripping too hard on it, they left these edges here, all of them, in that little recess. They're all sharp. No chamfering at all. So if you get in really deep on something, it's probably gonna hurt. But other than that, all the way around here, we've got a very, very good knife. The only problems I had with it is whenever you get it in your left hand, this area right here becomes very evident on your index finger if you've got a normal grip on it. So if you're a lefty, that might be an issue. But overall, guys, it's just a really good one. I'm going to get the camera in really close here because I want you guys to be able to get a good look at this thing. Ganzo has designed this themselves, the best I can tell, and they've done a really good job. And, you know, even at this size and that much stainless in this knife, it still weighs in at right at 5.1 ounces. Just a tad under that, or 144 grams. If Ganzo keeps charging forward here, and they can get this hardware stuff straightened out, I like the anodization. I like the colors they're getting. It's really nice. I mean, I don't know if some people have complained about it, but I kind of like it. But this knife had really good fasteners here. Stuck a good Torx bit in there, came right out, no play, perfect. Stuck a Torx bit in here, and in here, both of them, fairly new Torx bits, if not brand new. I don't quite remember, but everything I've got right now is pretty new. And that thing is stuck together. So they are either pulling a Spyderco and using some red Loctite in there, or something's a little wonky in that pivot. But like I said, it stayed fairly well lined up, so it's not perfectly centered, but it's pretty darn close. So I'm not going to complain about it, and with this action, we're in good shape. So, ball bearing pivot Ganzo, good job, guys. You have almost nailed it on the first try. Listen to what me and others have to say, straighten up those little things that are kind of annoying, and you guys are well on your way. And for those of you out there thinking you might want to buy one of these, you know, if you can find it on Amazon, or you can find it from a U.S. seller on eBay, that's your best bet. But even if you have to go to a Chinese reseller, and if you do that, GearBest is probably one of your better ones. At the price, I don't think you're going wrong. Alright guys, so a Ganzo on bearings. And it's a good one. Guys, whenever I first saw a Ganzo knife, I thought they were going to be junk. But Ganzo has proved me wrong. Each time I've come across a newer Ganzo knife, they've gotten better. I told you guys a couple weeks ago that the Ganzo G752 was super awesome. And it is. It is much better than any previous Ganzo. But with the release of the 752, they've one-upped themselves. This company is innovating. This company is listening. This company is moving ahead. And that's one reason I pick on them. Because they are listening. Because they are innovating and moving ahead. You know, they're doing some pretty good stuff in the budget knife world. And if they can translate some of this stuff upscale just a little bit, they don't need to get up into the $100, $200 mark. If they can get up into that $50 and $60 range, we may be seeing some super, super awesome stuff. Anyhow, guys, I really appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with me for a few minutes. The Ganzo G752. It's a freaking awesome knife for what you're spending. You guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.